The United States and Iran are holding crucial negotiations over Tehran's nuclear program. Donald Trump says his government will take military action if a deal cannot be reached.
I want them not to have a nuclear weapon. I want Iran to be a wonderful, great, happy country. But they can't have a nuclear weapon. And we're negotiating with them. On Saturday, we have a big meeting with them. I want them to flourish, but they can't have a nuclear weapon.
US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is heading to Oman to hold talks with Iran's foreign minister over the Gulf state's nuclear program. Alastair Bunkle has the details.
It is significant, this meeting that is going to be taking place in Muscat today, but I see it as only a first step, and there is quite a lot of pessimism around it. There's a lot of distrust between the two sides, and particularly on the Iranian side, real skepticism about whether or not these talks could ever be successful. They see America's demands, basically for Iran to get rid of its entire nuclear program, as something that they cannot accept, and is what they would probably describe as a lose-win situation. They would lose, and the Americans would win everything, rather than some sort of compromise deal. So that is kind of the starting point, which is not particularly encouraging. It is encouraging that at least the two sides have agreed to meet, but we're not going to be direct talks like the Iranians wanted. The Omanis will act as mediators, which they do very skillfully, very quietly behind the scenes, but often very effectively. And we'll see whether or not, by the end of the day, there is a sort of a note or the green shoots of optimism. I think the Trump administration, through Steve Witkoff, will sort of have to offer something to the Iranians so that the Iranians can say that they're getting something out of the talks. Perhaps there's about $6 billion locked away in a bank in Qatar that was supposed to be transferred to the Iranians under the Biden administration as part of a hostage deal, but never was. So, that is a potential carrot that Trump could offer the Iranians, except Trump doesn't tend to offer carrots in the early stages of negotiations. He's much more about the stick. So again, that could be an area where the two sides clash. And then you've got an interesting mix of Steve Witkoff, who we've all come to know pretty well now because he is Trump's point man on Gaza, on Russia, Ukraine, and now on the Iranian nuclear talks. But Witkoff is ultimately, his background is a real estate developer, not as a diplomat. And the Iranians are notoriously hard to negotiate with. They drag talks out, they try and extend it for as long as possible. And the man who he's negotiating with, Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi, he was part of the team that negotiated the last nuclear deal. So he will be very clued up on the minutiae. So we'll see whether or not there is an outcome from the talks today that shows a step forward to allow the talks to progress in the coming days or weeks. But the clock is ticking.